Fare thee well bids goodbye to love found, then lost. It takes the listener into a poetic journal of young love, longing, and divine companionship, only for life to unfold in ways that many would find unbearable, the pain of love separated. It speaks to those who have risked all for love, found love, and experienced loss of love. The subject wishes their loved one well in an emotional parting. Some of the specific inspiration was our dear friend Charlene. She was a beautiful soul. I loved her in a way you love a close friend, the closeness of a social group. She passed at 43 years old, way too young. I found myself grieving. Words for Fare Thee Well were inspired from 2 poems read at her celebration of life. I didn't use any exact quotes, but lyrics were designed to capture the essence of the pain of loss and the longing of love. A favorite element is ending in the chorus with the lyrics heaven and the phrase rest in you, where the song can bring comfort, knowing that pain is only temporary. Some of the production elements. I used a piano riff that's more than 20 years old that I've always loved. It's just this small arpeggiated riff. And its time wasn't right until now. I was listening to it, and Fare Thee Well just started unfolding as I was playing that small arpeggio over and over. I used the rhythmic element of Life by XLN Audio. I wanted to capture a human element, so the phrase fare thee well, my love, I used over and over in very subtle ways, cut up and put into a rhythmic pattern as the foundation for the rhythms for Fare Thee Well. And I like that it added a human element of my voice. In the intro, I wanted a complex rhythm that sort of reflects the complexity of life. So I used a 3/4 straight beat drum pattern superimposed on a 4/4 song. And I love doing that because there's a syncopation and an element of surprise and a push and a pull. You feel on beat and then you feel off beat. And I feel like that perfectly represents the complexity of life. Then into the chorus, I went with a 4/4 drum cadence. That helps to relieve some of the tension and it moves the song along. That fit perfectly into being able to unfold the narrative of the story and move the narrative forward. I used a minimalistic approach to the vocal arrangement, building sections and adding information for the listener. I wanted there to be space for reflection, allow the elements to unfold naturally. The climax of the song is the bridge. It's a big sonic contrast to the other parts of the song. I used slow ascending piano arpeggios as if going up, up, up towards heavens. I used a sound from a synthesizer called the Neuphonium, and their sound the tremolo. And it's an unearthly sound, almost like waving in an outer space. I wanted to give the listener a feeling that something was different. Lab 5, I used 3 of their sounds. The Blade of Canada, it has a whirling, a swirling. The notes that are played keep rising and rising higher and higher to create a crescendo. Lab 5 arcade ambience is a gritty saw wave. And it also has sounds from someone that I respect, Peter Gabriel. I love his creativity, his collaboration, and his musical pursuits. When he sings "Red Rain is Coming Down," it's very passionate, and he uses a synth with a very similar sound and feel. It's meant to emphasize nostalgia, a reflection of the time in the past. Good times, innocence. Also, Lab 5 June dubstep was used for a bass during this section, a deep, pulsating, almost like a heartbeat, almost like life support, an intense dream, a nightmare, a migraine, is a very powerful grounding bottom end, earth-shattering, vibrates, and that is the basis for the bridge section. I used a Fender Marcus Miller jazz bass for the verses, and then I used Native Instruments Massive for a bass, and I used Lander Composer for the arrangement of the choruses. In the bridge, I did something risky. I really let the listener in on the mental state of the composer by using the words, "We're beautiful." And it's meant to be somewhat mysterious, so I have it sort of washed out with some echoes, delays. You have to listen to it maybe more than once to even hear what I'm saying, but I wanted there to be a mystery. I wanted the listener to have to try to figure out, to try to listen, to hear what's happening. But it's the open state of the mind for the composer. When I say we're beautiful, it implies that we're still holding on to the idea of togetherness, not fully accepted that we are no longer. There's also a recognition of the beauty of this togetherness, but now lost due to the separation. Thankfully, there are 2 more choruses in the song where I drive home the idea that heaven awaits and rest is found. And maybe not just rest for the subject, but rest for the listener. As far as artwork, I decided to put the date of Charlene's passing on the cover. I debated putting her birthday, maybe even the release date of the song. But in the end, it made most sense to emphasize missing Charlene, and that she went long before anyone wanted or imagined. I hope in the future, others will ask, what's the significance on this date? And I hope that it can lead to talking about Charlene and others who were lost too early. My daughter Lauren did the photography for Fare Thee Well. She has a keen sense for photo composition, and within a few snaps, she had the colors and framing that would reflect this song's intent. A white purity, soft white, heavenly, plus a mild earthly green to signify life, human condition, seeds, plants, growing, death, cycles of life, nourishment, regeneration, strength, resilience, and renewal. I hope you enjoy Fare Thee Well.